Board Cards back with another video. Sorry, it's been a while. Just been pretty busy. But yeah, I had said I would make maybe a video about just some of my strategy and some of the tools I use for grading. So I figured I'd share this one in a real quick video. This is kind of a calculator that I made that helps me choose what cards make sense to grade. And it's based on the idea of expected value. Actually, I think it was Low Pop Professor who has a YouTube channel, and he's a really good collector. He had a video about this that kind of put me onto it, and then I kind of used those ideas and just made a simple calculator in Google Sheets. And this is it that you're looking at. So the idea of expected value is basically if over time you sent the same card for grading a bunch of times, like on average, what would you expect to get back out of it? And so I'm gonna show an example here. So I have pulled up. This is just a an iconic card, the Kobe Bryant with LeBron 2008 Topps card. Uh, and so how we're gonna do this? We're gonna start. Well, actually, we're gonna start with. Let's start here. So this box is where the raw price plus grading fee goes. So actually, let's start with finding raw copies. So we're going to do minus PSA on Card Ladder to get rid of PSA copies. Okay, so raw, this one did 90. This one did 250. We got to try to get an idea here. Okay, it's number 24. So we got to try to get an idea of what this card actually really goes for, usually raw. Okay, so we had that 90, the 260. Here's one, 250. So there's a lot of variation. It probably depends on the centering, but I'm seeing mostly between like 150 and 250. Let's say, let's just say it's like 175. Okay, so 175, and then the grading fee. Um, Personally, I would be trying to grade this at a value bulk. Um, Although you might get upcharged, you probably would get upcharged if you got a 10. But I would be starting with value bulk. But if you wanted to do value, you would factor in the cost or the value plus. So value bulk, 25 bucks. And we're saying the card, I was saying it was about 170 raw. So, and let's just round that up with like shipping and stuff. So we'll say the grading fee is actually 30. So overall, we'll say the raw plus grading fee is 200. Okay. Now let's go back to Card Ladder and let's actually look at the PSA copies. So if I click on the card in Card Ladder, click on this book here, it's going to show you the gem rate of the card, and it's going to show you the last sale. Whoops. It's going to show you the last sale of each graded copy. So you can see the last 10 did 909, the last 9 did 295. So I'm actually just going to put these numbers in, and then the last 8 did 176. So we had, we had 909, we had 295, and then 8. I have in there 8 or less. I could make another column for sevens. There actually is a significant difference between 8s and 7s, but for now let's just do it this way. So the 8 was 176. I'm just gonna actually lower that a little bit just to kind of account for the 7s being less. So I'll just say an 8 or less, like on average like 120. Okay, so now I've got those numbers in, and then the last area of the formula is the probability. So that's really like the rate of getting that specific grade. So so for a 10, that's easy. It gives us the gem rate. So it was 20.2%. So I'm just going to put 20.2 here. And you'll see this isn't correct yet. It's starting to fill in though with the calculator. PSA 9. So this is where it gets a little bit more, because it's not going to just give you the percentage rate, but for the 9 I can get, so there's 2050 out of a total of 4438. So you might not be able to see this. I'm just pulling up a calculator on the side here. So 2050 over the total population of 4438 equals, okay, 46%. So there's a 46% rate of getting a 9. And then I'm kind of lumping in all 8s or less. So it looks like, let's see, 880 plus 250, that's going to be like 1100-ish, plus these. Here's another 14. I'm just going to estimate it to about 1400 for 8 or less. So 1400, again, pulling up the calculator, 1400 over the total pop, which is 4438, and we get 31%. Okay. So, and these percentages numbers should add up to 100. So, and they're not exactly here because I did a little bit of estimating, but let's see, it should be about right. 66 plus 31. I'm missing a few percent, but you get the idea. You could do it more perfectly than I'm doing it. I'm just trying to show you. Okay, so now it should be correct. I've got the raw price plus grading fee. I've got the probabilities of each grade. I've got the values of each grade. And so now it's filling in for me the expected value. And you can see the formula up here if you want to like copy that. If you wanted to do this yourself, here's that formula. And then and I'll explain what this is, but here's the formula for EV over raw. Okay, so what this is saying here is when I send a Kobe 2008 tops for grading, and I grade it at that value bulk level, for a total cost of raw plus grading fee of 200, I can expect on average to get $356 out of it. So basically what it's doing is it's adding up this times this plus this times this plus this times this. So it's basically like taking the percentage of the time that you get each grade, assigning sort of a value to that based on how often you get that grade and what the value is, and sort of mashing them together to give you this expected value. Now, again, this one's going to be imperfect also because if you get a 10, it is actually going to increase your grading fee because you're going to get an upcharge. So, like, you know, that would lower the expected value a bit. I'm not sure exactly how much, probably not that much. But anyway, you get the idea here. And for lower end cards where you don't have to worry about going over that threshold, you won't have to worry about the upcharge not being calculated. Okay, so I would expect 356. So, and then the EV over raw is just this 356 over this 200. So it's saying that on average, I'm gonna make 1.78, so that means like basically like a 78% profit on each of these tops cards that I grade. Again, probably a little bit overestimated, but yeah. And then EV over raw adjusted, it's just gonna, I just made an extra one just to kind of take out, I think 13% for like an eBay fee. So after the fees, it would be more like 1.51 EV over raw, which is like, you know, a 51% profit. So overall, like, you know, this might be a good card to look into grading. There's a lot of other factors to consider. You know, if you're buying one that's way off center, that has 0 shot at a 10, then the calculation is completely different because you're not really adding in this probability, this 20% probability of getting a 10. So that's something to consider. So you don't just blindly follow this. You want to be getting cards that still have a chance to get, the 10, um, even if it's like a relatively low chance. So let's just do another example. So here's a good one for the current time. The Cooper Flag base Topps Chrome. And these are a little tougher, I think, than with the calculator than like a Kobe, because the price is always fluctuating. So you can't trust as much the what the calculator is going to spit out, because it's only spitting out the current moment. So if by the time that you get these back, if a PSA 10 is half of what it is now, then the calculator didn't really do too much for you. But let's just see what things look like right now. So let's start with, since I've got a graded copy pulled up, let's start with the graded percentages and values. And let me erase all this. Okay, so total pop is 832. We have a 38% gem rate. Okay, so I'm gonna put 38. Oops, that's the value. 38 for the probability on a 10. On a 9, it's 365 over 832. Let me do the calculator. 365 over 832. And that's about a 44% chance of getting a 9. And then the 8 or less thing works kind of better here, because the 8s and 7s go for similar, and there's not that many 7s or less. So I'm fine with that. Added up here, we've got 120 plus 25. We got about it's 146. So 146 over 832. 146 over 832 equals, and that's going to be a 17.5%. Again, it should add up to 100 or very close to it, if you're not quite perfect. But okay, and then let's do the values. So 430 on a 10. Whoops. On a 9, it's going for 82. And on an 8 or less, we'll call it 50. We got like 52 and 40. We're going to just call it 50. Okay. And then we just need the raw price plus grading fee. Now, let's find the raw price. We're going to do minus PSA to get rid of the PSA copies. Where's a base Chrome? Here's one. 22. Okay, well, let's just call it that. Let's say it's 22. Here's one for 23. Okay, we'll call it 23. So it's going to be 23 plus the grading fee. Now, this is where, your decision of what speed to grade it at is going to be important. So let's say we do value bulk. So 23 plus 25 is going to be 48. So if we're doing value bulk, 48 goes here. And if prices hold, as they are now, which I highly doubt, but if they were to hold right now, your expected value on sending in a $23 Chrome at value bulk would be 208, with a 4.3 expected value over raw, which is really good. So if you knew that was going to hold up, you'd send as many as you can. Because for me, anything over 2 here is really good. That means that you're expecting basically to double up on average. But let's say you want to get rid of some of the risk of the price going down over time, and so you decide to send at value plus. You're still waiting a while. You're still waiting the 45 days, but it's better than 95, I guess. And so you're sending at 50. So the 50 plus the 23 for the raw card. So I'm going to put that here. and that would be 73. So if we did that, now you can see the expected value, still really good. It goes down to 2.85. And again, that's if the price held for that 45 business days, which I can guarantee you it will not. But I just wanted to give an example of how to kind of do this analysis and sort of what the um, limitations are and what it's good for. Overall, I'd say it's better for like established cards that aren't moving around too much, than a current, hottest card like Cooper Flag, because you have no idea what it's actually going to be, what the tens are actually and the nines are going to be valued at. Um, Years, or sorry, it feels like years, but like months down the road. Um, so yeah, that's it. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments. Um, if you really want this calculator, leave a comment, and I'll get in touch, and I'll send it to you at some point. I don't check the YouTube that often, so just bear with me if it takes some time, but I will get back to you at some point. Anyways, hope you enjoyed, and have